Physical is just few specks, maybe a few billion stars, but everybody's too engrossed in their iPhone, missing the eye. You can change the quality of your system and chemistry in a matter of few days or weeks. This is the most sophisticated equipment on the planet. Yes. When you were born, you were only this much. Now you become this much. How did all this happen? Just the food that you've eaten, isn't it? Essentially the food, the material that you took from the planet, you integrated into this one as my body. So if you eat a piece of bread, over the afternoon, it turns into human body. When I say human body, do not think in terms of you or me like this. This is the most sophisticated equipment on the planet. Yes or no? Everybody's too engrossed in their iPhone, missing the eye. This is the real technology. This is the technology on the planet. And you producing such technology with a piece of bread, maybe a carrot, maybe an apple, maybe just anything that you eat, isn't it? So there is an intelligence here, there is a competence here, which is capable of turning a piece of bread into such a sophisticated piece of technology. Now, if you could make an iPhone with a slice of bread, would you consider this miraculous and incredible? Yes, right now you're doing much more than that, but doing unconsciously. If you can only consciously have a drop of this intelligence into your day-to-day life, health is not even an issue in your life, okay? You will live magically. And there is nobody here who doesn't have it. If it was in me and not in you, then it's an issue. There is nobody here who doesn't have it, everybody has this intelligence. Only thing is, they're looking for solutions outside, they're not looking for solutions inside. The manufacturer of this body is inside. If you had a repair job to do, would you like to go to the manufacturer or the local tinker? If you had the ID, you would go to the manufacturer. If you lost the ID, you fix it with the local mechanic, isn't it? It's an emergency, you call the local mechanic. Long-term health, you must go to the manufacturer, isn't it? If you're willing to do something more focused with yourself, there are more sophisticated methods with which we can do this. You can change the quality of your system and chemistry in a matter of few days or weeks if you're willing to do a certain amount of work with yourself. These things are medically proved now. It need not be, because the measurements, the instruments of measurement that we are employing today are insufficient to measure the capacity of the intelligence which is nature, the intelligence which is the basis of this creation. It is not enough. We are trying to bring down everything to physicality. We are making physicality supreme. We need to understand this. In this creation, in this vast cosmos, physical is just few specks, maybe a few billion stars, but still they're just a few specks in the vastness of nothingness, isn't it? Only that which stops light you can see. That which allows light to pass through, or that which is light itself, you cannot see. Now you can see this hand because it stops light. Suppose my hand became so wonderful, it doesn't stop light, you wouldn't see my hand, isn't it? So because our visual apparatus are like this, you only see those things which stop light. Because of that, we have come to these conclusions that physical is everything, because physical is all that is in our experience.
Namaskaram everybody. We all know that today, that is 7th November, is National Cancer Awareness Day. So, on behalf of that, I have conducted a series of various things about the cancer which all of us might know. So today is the second part of that series. I have already put the first part. It's recommended to watch that part because there I have explored about varieties of yogic perspective that how this cancer manifests in any of the human being, and it can happen to any of the being. So today is the episode 2. So just watch what are the yogasanas and kriyas. As promised, I am going to share about that in this episode. So now let's continue. Now, since Richard Nixon declared war on cancer in 1971, the National Cancer Institute has poured some $90 billion to research and treatments. Yet, the cure remains elusive. Experts have plenty of targets for blame, including a flawed emphasis on treatment over prevention. and big pharma betting on blockbuster treatments that cost billions to develop. But a new study raises a sobering possibility that cancer simply may be here to stay. Researchers at Yale University, the Catholic University of Croatia, and other institutions discovered that Hydra, which is a tiny coral polyp that emerged hundreds of millions of years ago, forms tumors similar to those found in humans. Now, this suggests that our cells' ability to develop cancer is an intrinsic property that has evolved at least since then, way before we relied on forces to try to tackle it, said Thomas Bosch, who is an evolutionary biologist at Yale University who led the study published in Nature Communication in June. To get ahead of cancer, he said, you have to interfere with the fundamental pathways. It's a web of interactions, he said. It's very difficult to do, and that's why cancer will probably never be completely eradicated. So cancer results from DNA mutation that throw a wrench into the molecular circuits that regulate the cell cycle. Unregulated cancer cells multiply uncontrollably, so they also evade a process known as apoptosis, in which cells with genetic mistakes essentially commit suicide. Now, Bosch and his colleagues have invested Hydra stem cells and tissues regeneration for years. In the earlier study, they showed that these pulsating polyps carries genes that can cause cancer in humans. But they wondered, did those genes also trigger tumor growth? To unravel the tumor-causing mechanism, the researchers observed cell division in the Hydra with and without tumors. They saw that stem cells programmed to turn into female sex cells or eggs divided uncontrollably. They accumulated without being naturally culled through apoptosis, resembling ovarian cancer in women. Now they then supported the tumorous Hydra's DNA and discovered a gene that holds apoptosis and the activity of which runs amok in tumor tissue. Turns out a similar gene hijacks apoptosis in humans and also spurs unbridled cell proliferation. So we know that tumors can grow in Hydra, but are Hydra tumors invasive the way they are in humans? To find out, researchers transplanted tumors into healthy polyps. The cells from tumors transplanted in the midsection of healthy polyp migrated all the way to both the ends of their bodies. All these means that cancer genes and the mechanism that allows tumor cells to evade death and invade healthy tissues have deep evolutionary roots, and the researchers wrote, any crucial cell in your body or in our body can at any point make a mistake and there's no way to prevent it, as per Bosch. This means that you carry a time bomb in your body when you are born, according to Bosch, which can completely explode early in life or in middle age or in old age. But here, Bosch also adds that that doesn't mean that the patient who develops cancer, there's nothing you can do. While our cells probably always will have the ability to make mistakes that trigger cancer, Bosch believes that medical technology will allow us at early time points, at least in some cases, to successfully treat and clean a patient's completely and forever of troublemaking cells. In this journey, they found that one strategy might be to unleash the immune system against these cells, and this is what we also talked yesterday in part 1 of our series. Those who haven't watched the part 1, they are highly recommended to watch that and then come to this section so that you can connect to things more easily. In part 1, we have already discussed that how cancer or any of the chronic ailments happen once the energy body or the pranamaya kosha is disturbed. And this means once it is disturbed, it will naturally manifest psychologically as well as physiologically, that is, both in your mind as well as your body's immune system. So I'll now discuss this part 1 of the series now. It's recommended that you should watch the part 1 and then come to this episode. But in that video, I also promised you to share some of the kriyas or yogasanas that how you can take charge of your own energy body as well as your own physical body or the immune system. Now, to treat cancer, we have already seen that how we have to act upon our lifestyles, kriyas, pranayam, etc., not for the cancer cells, because cancer is not something that can be treated with drugs. So in this case, we have to follow prevention is better than cure. And for this, we have to change our lifestyle, our fooding habits, our yogas, our asanas, everything. Now, before moving further, I would like to discuss about the fooding habits that can inhibit your cell to grow very fast and develop cancer. If you have watched Sadhguru's earlier videos, he have talked about neem and turmeric, which is one of the most potent medication or a very healthy diet which everyone should include in their daily lifestyle, to eat a ball of turmeric as well as neem in their empty stomach early in the morning. Now, I'll not talk about all the food habits. If you haven't seen Sadhguru's video, I'll give the link in the description. You go and watch there. Now, moving further, let's talk about the 3 most important practices that anyone can learn and include early in their life. The first one is Isha Kriya. Second is Bhuta Shuddhi. And third is Shakti chalana kriya. Now, regarding Isha Kriya and Bhuta Shuddhi, I will discuss some other day. But for today, I'll discuss more importantly on Shakti chalana kriya, which is a very potent kriya to take charge of your own pranic system. Now, according to the book Cancer, the Yogic Perspective, written by Sadhguru, now according to that book, whatever you do in your life, how your body, your mind and your whole system function is ultimately determined by your prana. Prana is an intelligent energy. Since prana has the karmic memory of the individual imprinted on it, it functions in each person in a very, very unique manner. There are 5 basic manifestations of prana in the body. These panch pranas or panch vayus are prana vayu, samana vayu, udana vayu, apana vayu and vyana vayu. These are the direct different aspects of the human mechanism. Now, through yogic practices like the Shakti chalana kriya, you will be able to take charge of these panch vayus. And if you gain mastery over these 5 vayus, you will be free from most ailments, particularly the psychological ones. This is something that the world really needs today. Now, we all know that cancer is not an infectious disease. It happens because our own body cells have turned against us. It does not occur due to any external invasions in our body. That means every kind of suffering is first created in the mind. The sickness has set in and it will multiply because of the social structures, the technology around us and various other influences. So, one who takes charge of one's own prana can be 100% assured to have unshakable psychological balance. Now, this should also prevent physiological ailments to a large extent, though an element of risk always remains due to a variety of reasons, including the infections and all kinds of chemicals and poisons that we are exposed to. There is no absolute control over what we take in through our air, food, water, no matter how careful we are about what we consume. How much it impacts us depends upon each individual. So by this we knew that physiological health cannot be guaranteed 100% because of external reasons. But psychological well-being is 100% guaranteed if you take charge of your own prana. If you are psychologically in an extremely good place, a few physiological issues will not be a problem. Now, most of the time, mind and bodily conditions are less of an issue than your mental reactions on them. So how the pranas function within you, how they transact with the rest of the universe, how they enter a newborn and how they live the dead, all that clearly shows that they are having their intelligence of their own. After knowing this all, that how physiological and psychological well-being is very much needed for your energy body to work properly, now let us discuss how Shakti chalana kriya will help you. Now, Shakti chalana kriya is a set of powerful purifying practices to enhance the flow of the vital energy and offers the possibility of bringing our own system to a state of optimal health, balance and vibrancy. Now, before moving forward, let me tell you that Shakti chalana kriya is only offered to those who have completed Shunya Intensive. Let us know why. Now, for Shakti chalana kriya, it takes a certain level of attention and awareness to know how the panch pranas or the 5 pranas are functioning. So the Shakti chalana kriya is a fabulous process, but you need to be very much attentive. It requires to keep yourself focused for 40 to 60 minutes. And that is why Shakti chalana kriya is always taught in tandem with Shunya intensive. Because the Shunya meditation is to break yourself to a place where if you close your eyes, world is totally gone in your experience. Once if you make yourself like this, you are capable of staying focused on something. Forceful concentration is not going to achieve anything or anywhere. If you close your eyes, the only thing that should exist for you are your breath, your heartbeat, and the processes of the body and the workings of your prana. Only what is happening inside's life. What is happening outside is just imagery. So it all depends on what importance you ascribe it. If you make it your number one priority in your life, everything within you will organize itself naturally. Now with the Shakti chalana kriya, the transformation happens gradually. So taking charge of your prana and its different activities in your system is a fabulous process. The Shakti chalana kriya works on that level. And if you practice it, you are strengthening the very foundation of your own system. So it is a subtle process through which one can gain control over the inner energies. Transforming inner energies through pranayam is very much important to stabilize our entire body and mind. If you wish to do Shakti chalana kriya, you must remember that you have to do Shunya intensive first. Now for today, hope you loved the video. And the rest of the yogasanas of the kriya, that is the Bhuta Shuddhi kriya as well as the Isha kriya, we'll talk about later in my videos. For today, hope you loved the video and enjoyed the content and found something really beautiful and valuable. And if you found so, do not forget to share with your friends and family as much as possible. And also do like and subscribe our channel. Up to next, stay safe, healthy, happy, and namaskaram.